later. Okay, so S&P is really good to be talking about, guys, and the reason why is because it's swarmed up. Now, if you've followed me and watched me, etc., hero of the day, great to have you, great to see you. If you've watched me for a while, you will have noticed that for a long time I said that this level here will not hold. All right, and you had various hits on it. Okay, you near enough touched it there. Then you came back here. Okay, and then on to here. And what was really interesting was the fact that you had this going on over here. Now, if you look at the two previous falls, okay, and even this one as well, you'll notice that every single time the market thumps away. All right, so you get these big rejection candles and the market comes right down. Coinciding with that, okay, not always, but sometimes, is a relatively high stochastic oscillator. All right, so that's what you've got over here. Okay, and then you get it over here. All right, so it's in the overbought, and you just about peak to it there, and then you've got the same thing now. So this bit of price action, this mumbling, this sort of fuffling around, should have said to you, okay, well, you're not getting those big hits down, and the market really isn't falling harshly. All right, so you have to ask yourself, would it therefore be fairly likely that it's going to push through? I mean, given you've hit once, twice, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 times or so on the same level, and you still haven't gone down, okay, you can clearly see that the market is pushing and pushing and pushing. Now, it doesn't mean you should be buying with the anticipation it's going to come up, i.e. a breakout, okay? That doesn't mean that at all. It just means you hold off until you have a profit margin, okay? Because if you look where it fell to, where I drew these arrows, there is no profit margin, okay? It's tiny. That is a scalper's market. And if you're not used to scalping, then it gets very dangerous, all right? So that is why I said that for such a long time. Hopefully then you didn't go massively short and find out later that it comes through. So yeah, so well done if you managed that well, and all the scalp trades you would have taken if you did. Going on for the future, and this exact reason why I said let it run, is because if you look at the last, reasonable place of support, okay, strong support, it's all down here, and that is what I was talking about that profit margin. If you look how far away the price is from that level, you've got room to fall. If you don't have room to fall, then there's no point in trading, okay? Because what's the point if you don't have any room till you hit support? You're hardly going to make any money, if any money at all, especially with the spread on whatever you're trading. So my bias comes up higher. I'm looking for key PA zones, and I'm understanding that I have massively overbought stochastic oscillator. I started coming up all this time ago. I mean, you have to ask yourself, seriously, how long ago was that? October, and you're still going up. All right, if I swap to the monthly, it's the same thing. Look, you're still going up, and that can only go on for so long before you get a considerable fall. All right, you've had your pullback off from this massive rally after you had COVID. Okay, had your pullback 0.5. All right, so you've had 50% of the move. You're now coming up, and if you now turn that around, you'd be coming up near your 78. Okay, probably past your 61.8. So my short bias comes near 4480. Thanks for the question. Morning to you too as well, guys. I don't think it's the wrong topic specifically, but I haven't read it yet, I guess. So I always say there's no bad question. So I would presume if you were asking it, it wasn't going to be like that. But anyhow, I'm worried that the S&P 500 is in some sort of bubble or forming one. Since only a few companies are driving up the value now, and most of them are tech ones working around AI topics, which is very popular now. It's like Nvidia on the Nasdaq, which made a massive push, like Oracle now, Are you observing such market behaviors as a whole, or are you really just focused on the technical chart perspective? So it's a good question. That's absolutely relevant in here. The example I would give you as well is that the same thing happened with the FTSE, right? You had all the big oil companies which propped the FTSE up, and when oil was, when you had all those gas problems and stuff like that, a lot of companies who are supplying energy were gaining loads and loads and loads of value, and that was pushing the FTSE up. It wasn't the other companies. But what I will say, the easy way to get around this is just you shouldn't really consider that as a whole. You are right. You should focus on the technical side, no matter who is driving up the FTSE or what is driving up the FTSE. You just need to focus on market sentiment overall. So let's say if it starts to get priced in, like it probably is on the S&P now, that you've had your run and the market is going to fall, then it's not so much to. There's no point in focusing on one company that's pushing up, an index or a futures market when a big change in monetary policy, for example, tonight, it just overturns the whole thing. So no, I wouldn't consider that. It's a good point because it does give you justification as to why things are moving, but I wouldn't focus on it mainly, and it wouldn't change my bias anyway. And even if it was a bubble, you'd be short. You wouldn't be buying it. So in a bubble, you would find it would crash, right? If you're shorting like I'm drawing now, and suddenly AI is not important or less so, and that stock that's driven up the S&P then goes down, you'd be short anyway. Okay, that's why I was short the FTSE. You had the same thing. I was short the FTSE, well, various times, obviously, but more specifically, if I go on my weekly, okay, you had this market rally, didn't you? You had this real market rally, all these energy problems, market comes up, and I was short even so much as I was short there and there. You see, I mean, the FTSE was getting rallied for mainly one reason, like you said, okay, energy companies. But then it gets absolutely slammed because you're right. I mean, in a way, it was a bubble as well. People stop needing energy because it's hot, or they just, or there's sort of there's caps on energy, all kind of things that bring the market down. But eventually, it always changes. It doesn't matter whether it's AI pushing it up or what. It doesn't matter what is pushing it up. It always will flip the other way. Is what I'm saying. So no, I wouldn't focus solely on one thing. DAX swing down 30. Great to see you again. I will say at this point as well, guys, if you're not on board, go to www.willsebastian.com. It's a really good idea to know what you're doing before 7 p.m. tonight on in regards to interest rates, etc. I'm just going to, I'll do the DAX first and then I'll get back to Mike in the Discord because he's asked me a couple of things. I really like it short. It links very well in with what I just said. Look how far you've come up. You should absolutely not be buying this now. It is absolutely not a long. I am short. I would look short. I'm not trading the DAX, but I'm trading other things very similarly. I would definitely be short. I mean, all you have to do is ask yourself, how high do you want it before you sell? How good of a price could you possibly get? All right. It always comes down harshly. All right. So I would be short. Don't go nuts. Just have a maximum size as per my risk plans in my academy. Maximum size. You don't need to sell your house and say, wow, this is the best price I've ever got, because it can go higher. But just, understand that if you're looking for market value, you've got the highest price ever. Okay, it couldn't get better than that, really. But it doesn't mean you put your risk up. It doesn't. Your risk needs to. That's the thing with trading. Your risk needs to always stay the same. As a maximum, you shouldn't go over a maximum. You can drop it. You can make it smaller, but your risk should never go over a set size. All right. And as I said, if you don't have academy rules like you'll get with me, you won't know your set size for any asset any time, and you won't be able to trade. That is just how it goes. You'll end up over leveraging, and you just get wasted. Nasdaq. on this ticker US 100 or NAS 100. I would be short now. I think similarly to your S&P, you've got room. I think you'll get up here, and I think for that reason, you might be able to get one light short, 15154 lightly, and the remainder 15480. That is where I'm looking short. I'm not buying. You should not be buying that. You should be getting short. All right. Do not be one of those guys who takes the wrong side of the market and says, wow, the markets are coming up, AI this, this, that, and the other. Just don't do it. You need to be on the opposite side of the market. Look how far away you are from these key MAs. Look how far you've come. You're sky high. You should be short. Okay. Just going to do Euro Award as requested on the Discord. Guys, if you're on the Discord stream queues place, ask them in there if you want. I've got that up as well. I'm just going to go over gold. Euro Award, and then I'll do gold. I've updated my gold post quite a bit, and I've changed my bias. Where is my Euro Award? I've got so many pairs on here. I should think some of you can see it before I can. There we are. So many. Euro Award. I'm long. I like it long, but I think you are going to drip slightly lower. I've already got longs in the market, so I'm DCAing, but I am down here. Now, it's interesting I said that, isn't it? Because a lot of guys who will stream or post, they won't tell you if they took it long and it's temporarily in loss, which is what my longs were. Okay? I don't shy away from it because I know I won't lose money on that trade. I am long here as well, just like I was long there. Okay? So 158, and it's just because if you put those higher time frames up, you've got tons of price action to go off. Okay, you could hold off until where I've just drawn the red line, 1577, but the area before 158, early 158 is okay. Again, you shouldn't be selling. Your stochastic oscillator is getting absolutely slammed. You should not be short. It's too late for that. You're far too late. Gold, thank you. You're an Academy member. Over here, TMOA, Tamoa 22. Great to have you. I hope you're learning well. Don't forget to DM me with questions because you've got the 60 days mentoring. Make use of it while it's there, please. So gold is nice and easy. Did this on a video post yesterday because I knew there was news coming out. You had CPI, didn't do too much. But again, look at this. This is what I was saying at the start of the stream. If you didn't quite get it, I'd roll back. All right, you're pushing up slightly, but you've hit so many times on this level, it's more than feasible. You will come under. Now, you'll know if you've watched me for a little while that I'm looking 1910 area, 1915, somewhere around there. For longs, I've got long orders down there. If it pops back up here, again, you've hit the level several times. You would expect if it was going to go long, it would have done it by now, and it wouldn't have such trouble being hit away every single time. Okay, so I'm not short. I would only short if it comes up there. If you're going to do that, it would have to be very light. Okay, so my short zone comes 1970, 1968. I'm only going to look long 1912, or 1910 to 1915. Again, if I put my time frames up, I reset my chart. Okay, you don't really have anything until you get down there, but ask yourself on a longer time frame basis, does that look strong? Okay, does it really look strong? The low that you're getting lower highs down. Okay, the pushes are getting harder, trying to roll the stone up the hill, and it's getting more difficult. So that doesn't mean I'm going to short it. It means I'm holding off to get long. Okay, now usually when interest rates come out or anything specific later on, I like to scalp. And I scalp really quickly on indice markets and FX markets and gold. Gold usually is heavily affected all at once. Again, I will say this clearly. If you do not have risk plans and you're not in my academy, I would not trade like I'm saying, because you will get absolutely creamed. You'll trade too large at the wrong time, and you'll try and scalp, and it will all go wrong. Okay. Usually, when I'm scalping, my hit rate is like 97% accuracy, and I have low sizes which I know are feasible for the amount for what I'm trading at that time. You can't just go willy nilly. You can't. Apparently, that's only a British term. Willy nilly. I had to have one of my academy members pull me up. Euro dollar, similar to what I was just saying on gold, but I think I mean, it's not too pretty to trade. You've already got high stock. I don't like it short just yet. I would actually put my time frame up to the weekly to get a more accurate price action zone. I would probably hold off shorts until here. Don't short this massively. Okay. I think you'll go through the high, but I wouldn't short yet either. I would only look short at this point. If you're risk averse, I would go, and you can see just because of those candles. If you're risk averse, I would look for the longer term short. All right, and I would go above the previous high. That is going to coincide with this key MA, 200 MA. It's a nice short on the long term short side investment trend, if you like. So yeah, that's where I would look short. You need to get up there first. I would like to see a change in the price action on euro. You could probably get scalp longs if it drops, but mostly I would have a hands-off approach. I wouldn't trade it unless you get a big move up or down. At the moment, it's far too sideways. There's a lack of profit margin. Again, similarly to what I was saying, I wouldn't be surprised if you come up. All right, but I also wouldn't be surprised if you go sideways. Definitely nothing until the interest rate news is out. Okay, and that is my bias for euro. You might get it long if it does come down, but as I said, you need a larger move. I'm not interested at the moment in euro. Hope that helps. If it doesn't, let me know. Euro, yen, I'm short already. Yes, it is short. I mean, look, I said this yesterday. It's gone enormously up. It hasn't got any less short, really. It's only got more short. But I do think you might get here, and for that reason, I may add at that point. I would probably hold off till 95.5 if I were you. You could get a very light position because you might get a fall before then. But again, you're not buying. You are not a buyer. Look at your stochastic oscillator. Look at all the days you've come up. You're flying away from these nice, lovely, colourful lines. You're very far away. And yeah, it's not ideal to short yet. I mean, it's ideal to short now, but I think you'll get more slightly higher up. So you could take a tiny pinch of it. Again, you would need risk plans. Fantastic questions, Clive. No problem. Great to see you again. I think you've been in here a few times, and I think you're in the Discord. Maybe I'm not sure. That's the same thing. 98. I think 98 is all the way up there. I think you'll get to 95.55. I do believe that, but I also think there is a chance that will fall today. It's still a short. Whether you short it now or later, it's the same. It's definitely a short. You should not be buying this at all. It's just too high. It's far too high. Far too high. Right. Okay. So yeah, so we've done quite a few charts. I mean, the news is very prolific later, so it really is a good idea to get here. I mean, if you do have the news come out, and there's a fair chance this will happen, the price pushes up to 95.5, then you should have an order there, sure. As I said, if you're risk averse, don't go nuts, just plan ahead. 95.5. All right. So that's another chart done. Anyone in the Discord or this live chat box, do ask. If you can press the boost now, that'd be fantastic. If you're learning something today, I would very much appreciate it. CAD yen. I like it short, like you had with the ORD, but I think again you've got room until this PA level. I wouldn't short CAD yen until an 106.38. Okay, I wouldn't do it. You've got about, hang on, I wonder if I can do it on a really, yeah. Okay, so you've got slightly higher to go, as it says. That is my predetermined short zone 106.3. Pound yen is the same. I think you've got slightly higher on all of these pairs. I have already got short entries on a couple of them, and I'm willing to add. I'm looking to add more shorts as the price gets higher. Okay, because I want to catch those moves. So pound yen slightly higher. Has anyone got any questions like this? I mean, that's really ideal. And we'll go from there.